Think about the sheer math of keeping a 21-story luxury hotel alive. Even if only 30% of the rooms are occupied, the hallways still need vacuuming. The pool requires maintenance. The front desk, security, the valet, they all stay on the clock. It is a massive operation with relentless overhead, burning through cash every single night, completely independent of how many guests are actually sleeping upstairs. Enter the darling of Silicon Valley. A tech startup arrives with zero physical real estate, amasses a multi-billion-dollar valuation, and immediately spawns a tidal wave of headlines claiming the traditional, concrete-heavy hotel industry is staring down its own extinction. This chart highlights the core of the supposed threat. Designing, permitting, and building a single new hotel costs anywhere from $30 to $130 million before anyone even buys the land. Adding a new listing to Airbnb costs absolutely nothing. The platform simply monetizes bedrooms and homes that are already built, expanding its global footprint without spending a dime on construction. Under normal market conditions, a high fixed cost, slow-moving industry facing an unconstrained tech platform with no marginal costs should collapse. And yet the executives running the largest legacy hotel empires haven't panicked. To understand why, we have to look back to the roots of the hospitality business. From the 1920s through the 50s, legendary founders like Conrad Hilton and John Marriott built empires using an owner-operator model. They personally financed the land, built the physical structures from the ground up, and managed every employee inside them. This setup requires tremendous economies of scale. To pay off those massive initial investments and offset daily operating expenses, a hotel needs a relentless, unbroken flow of guests checking in the moment the previous guests check out. This chart tracks revenue flow. Between November and March, occupancy drops, but fixed costs remain, plunging the building into the red. To survive, operators hike summer room rates and upsell amenities like drinks and spa treatments to crawl back into profitability. Operating a massive property with those thin margins is fragile. If the giant conglomerates still ran their businesses this way, a sudden global shock or a zero-cost tech competitor rapidly flooding the market with cheap rooms would have bankrupted them. So if that model is a financial trap, how do the major conglomerates survive today? Consider the massive portfolios of Marriott, Hilton, or Hyatt, spanning millions of rooms worldwide. Ask yourself how much of that real estate they actually own. Take a look at these breakdowns. Wyndham currently owns exactly 0 of its properties. Hilton owns less than 2% of its total footprint. Hyatt owns roughly 5%. Over the last 2 decades, these corporations quietly and aggressively sold off nearly all of their land and physical buildings to independent third-party buyers. By shedding their physical assets, these companies effectively offloaded the risks of property ownership, rebranding themselves as service-based intellectual property managers. The legacy brands survived the tech disruption because they had already mutated. Long before anyone could book a room on a smartphone, the old guard of the hotel industry had transitioned into asset-light, intellectual property platforms. The engine driving this survival is franchising. It serves as a corporate shield against all the seasonal losses and massive fixed costs of the traditional hospitality business. Today, if a new hotel goes up, it is a local independent owner who secures the loans, buys the land, pours the concrete, and assumes 100% of the labor liabilities. They take on all the financial risk. In return for bearing that immense weight, the independent owner gets to stamp a globally trusted name like Hilton or Marriott on the side of their building. They bypass the struggle of building a reputation from scratch, and their new property plugs right into a highly optimized tech infrastructure and global loyalty program. We can see exactly how the conglomerates monetize this relationship here. Before the local hotel pays its staff or settles its own debts, the corporate brand siphons a guaranteed 2 to 6% cut of total gross revenue. They extract additional percentages from food and beverage sales and charge monthly program and management fees, skimming cash straight off the top. Because the corporate conglomerate holds no physical assets and pays no local staff, this royalty income flows directly through their balance sheets at a staggering 90% profit margin. They engineered a highly effective one-way financial valve. The local franchisees absorb every ounce of economic pain during a slow season, while the corporate entity hoards guaranteed risk-free profit. Meanwhile, the platform that was supposed to dismantle this entire system is now buckling under the weight of its own unconstrained scale. As the number of active listings climbs into the millions, quality control fractures. Travelers are increasingly voicing frustration over inconsistent standards, intrusive host behavior, and extensive checkout shore lists that make paying guests feel more like burdens. Add to that the regulatory backlash. Municipalities have aggressively caught up, slapping mandatory taxes, city fees, and strict licensing permits onto short-term rentals. With these added costs factored into each booking, the core advantage of affordability quickly evaporates. This levels the playing field, making the predictable nature of traditional hotels highly valuable again. A standardized room, daily housekeeping, and a front desk that never closes provide a ruthlessly reliable experience for both business and leisure travelers. The tech startup is currently fighting the messy, expensive realities of actual hospitality. In contrast, the supposed legacy dinosaurs have securely positioned themselves as untouchable shadow platforms, insulated from the physical world. In an economy where hotel empires own no land and rideshares own no cars, value is generated by controlling the transaction